First of all, what you need to do when you start the game is join the Sailor Peace group, and after that claim all the group rewards. This will give you a very good amount of gems and money. After that, come here, buy the katana from the seller and take your first quest. Then keep farming enemies in this area until around level 30 to 50. Once you reach that point, start focusing on the boss and keep defeating it repeatedly until approximately level 150, since this is one of the fastest early game progression methods. Once you are around level 150, head over to Jungle Island and start by farming the monkeys first. This method is much safer and helps you level consistently without dying too often while progressing to around level 300 to 350. After that, switch directly to the Monkey King boss and keep farming only the boss until approximately level 400 to 450 for much faster progression. Once you reach around level 500, head to Desert Island, where you will unlock a new system that we will cover later. For now, focus on taking the normal NPC quests and keep farming them until around level 800 to 900, depending on when you feel ready to move to the boss. After that, start farming the boss using the katana strategy, where you use the katana skill, then move back to avoid damage before going in again. This makes the fight much easier, safer, and more consistent for fast progression. Now about the system, you can buy it. If you have money enough, you will need 250,000 belly and 250 gems to unlock the observation haki on this NPC. That is pretty easy. Once you reach Snow Island, you should be around level 1000 to 1100. And even though there are new systems here, we will cover those later. For now, focus entirely on leveling by farming the 5 regular mobs using the same monkey farming method, by grouping them together and standing on top of this hill to safely defeat them much faster after that move to the boss, which can also be abused in a very similar way, and stay here until around level 2000 to 2500. Honestly, the best option is to keep farming here as long as possible and even leave it running AFK for a while, because the progression in this area is extremely solid. Here you will be able to unlock the Yoru per 250,000 belly and 150 gems. Next system is Armament Haki, obtainable behind the mountain. You need a small amount of money and complete all his quests. That is a little long bug, in minutes you get it. The next important systems are artifact milestones and artifacts, which become a huge part of your progression from now on. Artifact milestones give rewards based on how many artifacts you collect, while artifacts themselves are one of the biggest power boosts in the game. Once you reach level 2500, talk to the artifact NPC to unlock artifact drops from mobs, and from this point, AFK grinding becomes much more valuable for both levels and power. Right now, if you want farm AFK in Android, iOS, Windows, Linux, Mac, everything, you can just farm on each device without wasting energy or the life of your device. The best app is available to everyone in the description and pinned comments. By clicking on the website, you will be better informed. Here you will realize that you can farm 24 hours a day, every day, without needing to touch your device. And the best thing is that it is available for all devices. The most insane part is that it is extremely light for those who have a potato device. It does not consume your device. You can turn off the Wi-Fi, the cell phone that was still farming for you, non-stop until you stop. So to purchase this mega offer, use the link in the description or comments to get you started with an incredible bonus for you to farm. Once you reach level 2500, go to Sailor Island, open all your inventory chests for useful items like re-rolls, then head to the Trait Re-roll NPC. Here you will try get anything epic or higher, depend your luck. Here you will also find the storage NPC, where you can save different types of re-rolls like trait, race, and clan, along with the title NPC, where you can equip titles as you unlock them throughout your progression. You will also find the fruit merchant here, where you can buy fruits using either money or gems depending on which currency you want to spend. You will also find the random item merchant here, although this seller is mostly not very useful, along with the stats re-roll NPC, which is much more important since it helps increase your damage luck and overall progression speed. There is also the Ascension system and Boss Rush, which will not help much right now, but what really matters are the bosses that spawn here, Sung Jin Woo and Alucard. Both spawn every 5 minutes, are very easy to defeat, and drop useful items for progression. Once you arrive at Shibuya Station at level 2500, start by farming the normal mobs first until around level 2900 to 3000, since this is the safest and most consistent method early on. After that, move to Panda the Island boss and farm him until level 4000, because even though he is much harder, this becomes the best progression path for this stage. Now you have the Griffin Sword Seller that currently help us a lot, and is really cheap, only for 650,000 belly and 650 gems, and you will be stronger. If you already have any accessory, you can enchant it here at the Enchanter NPC. And after that, if you have your main weapon ready, go to Blessings and start upgrading your primary sword like Griffin, or whatever your main damage weapon is, to increase your overall damage as much as possible for faster progression. Once you reach Hollow Island at level 4000, stay here until around level 5000 by farming the normal NPCs and consistently defeating the boss Aizen for the best progression during this stage. Once you reach Boss Island, you will unlock an area where many different bosses can spawn, and while you do not need to focus on them right now, it is important to know this island will become a major part of your progression later for getting much stronger. Now about Dungeon Island here. Really nothing worth much, so just skip it. Once you reach Shinjuku Island, the real progression begins because one of the best artifacts in the game drops here, making this area extremely valuable for both levels and long-term power. This is one of the best places to leave your character. AFK farming, since even 1 hour here can give massive experience, especially if you are using VS Bone with Quake for faster grinding. You should stay here from level 5000 until around level 6500 for the fastest progression path. Once you reach Slime Island at around level 7000, you can start by farming the normal mob quests until around level 8000, while also defeating Rimuru whenever he spawns for extra progression. Here, you will also unlock the new skill tree system, where every 250 mobs defeated gives you 1 skill point that you can use to strengthen your build even further. Once you reach Academy Island, there is not much complexity here. Just keep completing the normal quests and farming mobs until level 1000 while defeating the boss if you want, since the item needed to spawn him drops from the same NPCs you already farm for progression. Once you reach level 1000, you are already very progressed, but there is still a lot more power to gain at Judgment Island around level 11,000. You can farm the normal mobs and defeat boss Yamato for progression. But the most important system here is passive shards, which are extremely valuable because they massively increase your damage and can drop from basically any mob in the game, making them one of the best long-term power systems to focus on. Once you reach level 11,500, you can move to Soul Society and start completing the quests. Here, this area also gives you access to the powerful Aizen V2, which you can obtain by spawning him and completing his progression requirements. Stay here until around level 12,000, unless you are strong enough to move to the next island sooner. Once you reach Ninja Island, there is not much reason to stay here for normal quest progression since there are better islands for leveling. However, this area is still very important because you can obtain Madara here, which is currently one of the best powers in the game and absolutely worth getting. Once you reach Lawless Island, this becomes one of the best AFK farming spots in the entire game, because it drops one of the best artifacts available, if not the absolute best, making it one of the most important progression systems overall. You can stay here all the way to max level if you want, but for standard progression farming the Shadow Bandits until around level 13,500 is already extremely effective. This island also introduces 2 major systems, Power and CID Atomic, one of the best swords in the game, which you obtain by defeating Cid and collecting the required boss drops. The process is simple but can take some time. The power system works similarly to passive shards, but instead of boosting a specific ability, it directly increases your overall character strength, giving massive damage boosts, so farming power here is extremely valuable and absolutely worth prioritizing. Tower Island works similarly to Boss Rush, where you clear the tower to earn points that can be used for important upgrades like luck damage, critical chance defense, and more. This system is extremely useful for strengthening your overall build, and it also gives you the opportunity to obtain strong swords, accessories, auras, and other valuable progression items. Now, if you want a noob to pro or second C guide, leave a like in the comments and see you next time.